You shower, put on clean clothes, and leave home smelling fantastic. A few hours later, you casually lift one arm. And suddenly something has gone terribly wrong. You check again just to make sure. Yep, that's definitely you, but here's the strange part. Sweat itself isn't usually the smelly villain we imagine. So if sweat isn't the real culprit, what exactly is happening inside your armpits? To solve this mystery, we need to visit one of the strangest neighborhoods on your body. Your armpit. Warm. Dark. Moist. Basically prime real estate if you're a bacterium. And unfortunately, you are not the only one living there. Millions of microorganisms live across the surface of your skin. Most of the time, you don't even notice them. They are simply part of your skin's microscopic ecosystem. But your armpits give them something particularly interesting to work with: sweat and other secretions. Now, not all sweat glands are the same. Your body has millions of apocrine sweat glands. They release a mostly watery fluid onto your skin. Their most important job is helping control body temperature. You get hot. You sweat. The water evaporates and your body releases heat. Simple enough, but your armpits contain another important type of gland: apocrine glands.
Let's explore the anatomy of the
This is where our
armpit.
mystery becomes much
Deep
more
in the dermis
interesting.
lies the apocrine gland. Its duct carries sweat directly to the hair.
These glands become active around puberty. Instead of producing only a simple watery fluid, their secretions contain richer organic compounds. Think of those secretions as ingredients, because something else is waiting for them: the bacteria living on your skin. Imagine microscopic customers waiting for a restaurant to open. The apocrine glands deliver the ingredients, and the bacteria get to work. They transform components of those secretions. That process produces volatile compounds, molecules small enough to travel through the air, and eventually straight into someone's nose. Congratulations! You have created body odor. Except technically, you didn't do it alone. Your bacteria helped. This explains something surprisingly important. Fresh sweat is not automatically the powerful smell we associate with sweaty armpits. The smell develops through interactions between your secretions and microorganisms. In other words, your armpit is running a tiny chemical factory. 24 hours a day, without asking your permission. But now we have another question. Why the armpit? Your forearm has skin. Your elbow has skin. Your shoulder has skin. Yet nobody finishes a workout and desperately sprays deodorant on their elbows. Armpits are different because several useful conditions come together there. They are relatively enclosed. They stay warm. Moisture can accumulate. Hair can help retain secretions and influence the local environment. And importantly, apocrine glands are concentrated there. Put all of that together, and you create an excellent environment for odor-producing chemistry. Your armpit is basically a tiny, tropical resort for microbes. Unfortunately, the resort has terrible reviews. But even this doesn't explain another everyday mystery. Why do some people smell much stronger than others? Imagine two friends leaving the same gym. Same workout. Same temperature. Same exhausting hour on the treadmill. Friend number one raises an arm. Nothing dramatic happens. Friend number 2 does the same thing. Suddenly, everyone remembers they have somewhere else to be. Why such a difference? Part of the answer comes from the microbial communities living on their skin. Different people can host different populations of microorganisms. Those microbes do not all process secretions in exactly the same way. But bacteria are only part of the story. Hormones matter. Hygiene matters. Clothing matters. Diet may influence body odor in some situations. And genetics can matter too. Which brings us to one of the strangest clues in this entire story. To understand your armpit, we are going to look inside your ear. Yes, your ear. Scientists have identified an important gene called ABCC11. Variants of this gene are strongly associated with differences in underarm odor. One common variant reduces the secretion of certain odor precursors from apocrine glands. That means bacteria receive less of the material that can eventually contribute to characteristic underarm odor. But ABCC11 has another famous connection. Earwax. Some people naturally have relatively dry, flaky earwax. Others tend to have wetter, stickier earwax. These traits are strongly associated with variants of the same gene. So information about a gene affecting your armpits can also show up inside your ears. Biology apparently enjoys strange plot twists. These genetic variants also occur at very different frequencies among human populations. This helps explain why underarm odor can vary substantially between individuals. But genes are not destiny for every smell your body produces. Your skin environment still matters. Your microbes still matter. Your habits still matter. And then there are hormones. Remember being a small child. You could run around all afternoon, get sweaty, get covered in dirt, and somehow your armpits usually weren't behaving like those of an adult after a workout. Then puberty arrived and your body changed the rules. Hormonal changes stimulate apocrine gland activity. Suddenly, those glands become much more relevant. More material becomes available in areas like the armpits. Microbes continue doing what microbes do, and body odor becomes much more noticeable. Which explains why deodorant suddenly becomes a very important bathroom item for many teenagers. But this raises a bigger evolutionary question. If armpit odor can be embarrassing, why do we have this biological system at all? Evolution does not design bodies for modern elevators, offices, or first dates. Our apocrine glands have a much older history. Similar scent-related secretions occur across many mammals. Chemical signals can carry biological and social information in other species. In humans, researchers have explored whether body odors may also convey information. But the evolutionary story is complicated. Human armpit odor should not be reduced to one simple, ancient purpose. What we can say is that the glands and biological machinery existed long before deodorant, and modern humans inherited that machinery. Unfortunately, evolution forgot to include complementary body spray. So humans invented their own solution: deodorant. But deodorant and antiperspirant are not exactly the same thing. Deodorant mainly targets odor. Depending on the formulation, it may reduce odor-producing bacterial activity or mask unwanted smells. Antiperspirant takes a different approach. It reduces the amount of sweat reaching the skin in treated areas. Less moisture can also change the environment where odor develops. So one mainly fights the smell, while the other mainly reduces sweating. Many modern products combine both approaches. And showering helps for another obvious reason. Washing removes accumulated secretions. It also temporarily reduces some microorganisms and their odor-producing products from the skin surface. Clean clothes matter too, because yesterday's shirt may still be carrying yesterday's microscopic party. But there is another misconception worth clearing up. Strong body odor does not automatically mean someone is simply dirty. People naturally differ in sweat production, gland secretions, genetics, and skin microbes. Environment and clothing can change things further. Stress can increase sweating. Heat can increase sweating. Exercise definitely increases sweating. And sometimes your body is simply doing what human bodies evolved to do. So, return to our unfortunate character from the beginning. Fresh shower. Clean shirt. A perfectly normal day. Then warmth, moisture. Secretions and microbes slowly begin interacting. Hours later, the arm goes up. The nose receives the evidence. And the mystery is solved. Your armpits are not simply manufacturing bottles of bad-smelling sweat. Your glands provide ingredients. Your skin creates the environment, and microbes perform much of the chemistry. Your hormones influence the system, and your genes can change the recipe. What seems like an embarrassing little smell is actually the result of an entire microscopic ecosystem. So next time your armpit smells suspicious, remember, technically you had accomplices.